Okay, let's take a look at example 1 of area 3, which is percentages. Students struggle percentage problem. So let's take a look at how you would deal with this particular problem. Now, it says after spending $10,000 to advertise their product on radio, a company increased their product sales by 50% from the previous year. Says if the current sales volume is 950, how many products did they sell last year? So we know that the current sale volume is equal to the previous sale volume plus 50% of the previous sale volume, right? That is what we are trying to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to first solve it. Now, most of these questions, when you get questions like this, you need to use basic common sense to solve it. They said they have increased the previous sale volume by 50%. That means these values here, one of them is the previous sale volume. So if I take 50% of this value and add to this number, it should give me 950. But we're going to get there in a second. But for now, let's analyze this using basic algebra. The current price, so the current sale volume is equal to the previous volume plus 50% of the previous volume. That means 950 should be equal to the previous plus 0.5 of the previous, right? That means 950 is the same thing as when I take P out, this become 1.5 1.5. So if I want to solve for P, then I divide this out by 1.5, divide this out by 1.5, and that means P is equal to 950 over 1.5. If you take your calculator, you notice that you get something like 633, right? So this is one simple way of solving this. Now, if you think your algebra is not straightforward, you are not good at algebra, but you want to use common sense, then you can say that, look, those guys sold 950 this year, current sales volume, and 950 is supposed to be what they sold last year plus 50% of it. So all I'll do is I'll say, well, if the answer is A, that would be 492 plus 492 divided by 2, which will be 50% of it. If you do that, that will give you a different answer. Now, I want you to go through this process and notice that when I take my C, which is 633, and I add 633 divided by 2, that give me 950, and that is what the answer is. So if you don't know how to solve this using this approach, you can do the try and error method. Just take the 50%, which is half of this, add to it, and then still notice that your answer is C. So this is simple, and for most of these exams like the SAT especially, they want to trick you, but this is basic common sense. You cannot go and take a test like this and come home and say I couldn't do this because the question was difficult, because this is very basic common sense.